Hello, my baby gorillas,
Yes.
and I'm with the one, the only Piers Corbyn. I've been waiting. I've been watching you from Scotland, and seeing what a fantastic job you've done.
Oh, wow.
Out speaking to the people, out trying to protect their freedoms, Mr. Corbyn. Tell us a wee bit about what you've been doing.
They're all our freedoms for the whole United Kingdom. Well, indeed, the world. But you know what your government in Scotland gets away with is an utter monstrosity.
Yeah.
And you know, I wonder sometimes if Boris Johnson and Keir Starmer are copying her.
Yeah.
I mean, God knows, but it's a tyranny you've got there. Anyway, what are we doing today? We were protesting. No, not protesting. We were demanding things outside Parliament and outside the Department of Health, as it's called. Key things were to get across the issue of world food shortages being deliberately created by the New World Order and their G7 operatives.
Can you just explain what the New World Order for people who may not know what it is?
The New World Order is a new system of world government which is put forward by the World Economic Forum, which is a tool of the mega corporations. People like the super rich Bill Gates, Elon Musk, all those people, they believe in a New World Order where they believe that capitalism as it is now can't carry on. Now that is true, it can't carry on, it's in crisis. So their answer is to crash the incomes of the lower classes, the middle classes, the working classes, all of them, and the mega rich get richer and richer. But to do that, they've got to take away democracy, which is what they're doing now.
And free speech.
And free speech. Like England used to be the home of free speech and assembly. It was that for 500 years, and maybe it was that which helped the unity with Scotland. I don't know, but you know, the unity with Scotland was important, and the United Kingdom was also, after England, you know, a place where free speech was allowed, unlike a lot of tyrannies in Europe. So, you know, it's an important thing to defend, and it's very important to understand that is being attacked right now.
Do you think
so
all
that's
of it?
Our ongoing message.
Do you think the?
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy. Do you think that all of the political parties are part of the New World Order? The Conservatives, the Liberals, the SNP, the Greens, there's no difference, is there? That they're all part of the New World Order,
Their
aren't they?
leaderships are all part of the New World Order. There's not going to be room for all of them at the top, so that is interesting. You know, I'm sure Keir Starmer is bidding to have a top place, but who knows? I mean, you know, Liberal Democrats, they'll just be chucked in the Thames. You know, so they're stupid to go along with it, but you know.
Nicola Sturgeon as well is part of it, even though she's a nationalist.
But you see, well, of course, that's the crazy, isn't it? She wants to join the European Union, where they're just going to say, okay, there's your tax, we'll have it, and we're going to tell you how you can spend it. Well, what's this?
Well,
nationalism is mad.
We just went over the SNP's manifesto, and she's going to wholesale import legislation, put it into Scottish law, dictats from the UN, which is now going to be imported wholesale and put into.
This is nationalism. Bullshit, isn't it?
And she's also wanting de facto open immigration as well, which is another aspect of the New World Order.
Open door policy is merely to bring in lower pay. I mean, that's what it's about, and undermine Scottish workers' incomes. I mean, that's what it is about. So anyway, you know, it's all part of the big picture. But I said the two things we're arguing about here, principally, one is to get across the message that COVID deaths are 60% people who've been jabbed, and when it should be 0%.
Wow.
So we know.
What's the percentage again?
60%.
60%.
Just their own figures. It comes from a website called dailyexpose.org or .com. And it's on our various streams under Let London Live and Stop New Normal.
And what the 60%? What happens to what's the 60%?
Of the people who've died from COVID, 60% of them had full jabs.
2 jabs?
2 jabs where it's applicable. Some of the jabs, they only need 1, but they were properly jabbed and should therefore have been immune. But they weren't. So the jab doesn't work.
Did they die of COVID or did they die of the jabs?
Well, good point. They officially died of COVID, but
Who knows?
whatever they died of,
Uh-huh.
it means the jab doesn't save lives. It's causing death.
Ah,
Causing death.
that's incredible.
It is incredible. That is their own figures. But see, they released those
Uh-huh.
at the same time as they sacked Matt Hancock. So everyone's talking about.
So they're looking
Matt-
away.
Yeah, of course, you know.
Distraction.
Absolutely.
Political distraction.
On the same day. It's a no-brainer.
Uh-huh.
They don't want that out. So we were demanding here that the Department of Health makes these things public. Well, they are in public on a website, but we want them public on the BBC, fully presented.
Yeah, well, we all know the BBC's.
Well, absolutely. Well, the BBC gets money from Bill Gates. The Imperial College gets money from Bill Gates. Channel 4 gets money from Bill Gates. So, you know.
The media is controlled.
The media.
Except the Guerrilla TV channel,
Yeah,
Mr.
hooray!
Corbyn. Oh, it's
Brilliant.
fantastic.
No.
See you next time.
You will indeed.
Good.
citizen.
Have a good day. Well done.
Thank you very much.
I'll
Just
get
doing a
contact
bit
with you.
of
Thanks
a-
very much, bud.
I'll do that anytime, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. So very interesting. You're my favourite Corbyn brother.
Oh, good.
You're my favourite. Are you? Where would you say you were in the political spectrum? Are you a libertarian socialist, or are you?
I'm getting rid of those labels now because I suppose
a good guy, good guys and bad guys.
I certainly came from the left, but now you see, the left and right is not the issue because on both so-called left and so-called right, they're supporting the New World Order.
Yeah.
So the issue really is up and down.
Yeah.
So we are for accountability against the diktats of the New World Order.
So you're like
And
Luke
that
Skywalker.
That simple message can unite us all.
You're like Luke Skywalker against Darth Vader.
Okay.
That's exactly that. You're like the Republic for the freedom.
Yeah.
But they might say that the control, they might be looking at communist China as their inspiration of a sort of quasi-fascist state, as a communist
Well, if you
authoritarian
look at
state.
communist China or Stalinist Russia or Nazi Germany, they all had the same system of control. I mean, their underlying economics were different, maybe.
Yeah,
Well, they were
slightly.
in various ways,
Yeah.
But the effect on the people was the same. And, you know, it means our freedom's taken away, free speech taken away, rights of assembly taken away, the right to work taken away, independent trade unions, in fact, don't exist, wouldn't exist in those places.
Well, I've seen you doing some massive rallies down here in London. Are you thinking about touring? I think you should do a wee tour of the major cities. I'm sure you'd be greatly received up in Glasgow, Edinburgh and Manchester.
Well, I've been to those places
Yeah.
sometimes, but not often.
But I would just announce your
It'd
tour.
be
I think you
great.
should do a tour.
If we do something in Scotland, well, that'd be great. I'd happily come to Scotland. Fantastic. I've been there a few times before, mostly with my weather business, you know. But
I think there's a rally.
Scotland's a place where people do fight, for their rights.
I think there's
Like
a rally.
Liverpool.
I think there's a rally for the ones down here up in sometime in July. So it would be great if you could make the effort and come up.
Okay.
Mr. Corbyn.
No, I would do that.
Because
if
they
you tell
love
me
you.
the details,
Yeah.
I'll be very happy to come because we do have to, you know, London is not the only place in the UK. I mean, I know it's the capital and so on, but, you know, frankly, the fight back has to be everywhere.
Yeah.
And it is everywhere. And me and others ought to go around more often.
Yeah, I think they love you. I think they love you all over, Mr. Corbyn. I think
Well, I've been getting messages.
I'm not surprised. I saw you down there. I saw you a few months ago when you really started to get to, and that was fantastic as well.
That's right.
You've been doing some great stuff.
A year ago. 29th
Uh-huh.
of August last year, that's when it took off.
Yeah.
50,000 in Trafalgar Square, that was brilliant. But now, a march of 1 million. We've had that, possibly 2 million on Saturday, whatever, we don't know, but it was mega.
Do you think the government's starting to crumble a wee bit from the authoritarian steps they've taken for the last 18 months?
Well, they're wobbling and there will be splits internally the more we resist. But, you know, the New World Order, New Normal, G7 project is very determined.
Yeah.
You know, they're not
The
gonna-
Great Reset.
Yeah, exactly. The Great Reset. They have a whole agenda and they're just doing it step by step by step. So we've got to break these steps. That's what we have to do.
That's right.
Not just delay them. We've got to break them.
Yeah.
So it's different from normal protest. So like all these people begging Tony Blair to don't bomb Iraq, don't bomb Iraq. He said, "Oh, I hear what you say. I'm going to bomb the hell out of who I want. Right? Shut up." And what can I do? There's nothing they can do.
But now,
what can they take down?
But now
Nothing.
he's been mooted for a return to the Labour Party.
I know. Well, that's insane.
Yes.
I mean,
He's another globalist shill, though,
That
isn't
would
he?
be the death of the Labour. Well, I think the Labour Party's dying anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Because although my brother's been doing what he can, he's now, going along with furlough and all that stuff, which is just the slow death of the working class.
I think that's why you've came to prominence. And that's why you're my favourite, Corbyn. The things that you've said make sense, and there's certain
Well, of
things
course.
that we've been supporting the Guerrilla TV channel.
Me being his brother helps and hinders as well.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, Piers, I like your brother, so I like you," and then they say, "Piers, I don't like your brother, but I like you." Or there's some people who say, "I don't like either of us," but you know what I mean. It's kind of the name has probably helped.
But you're also refreshingly different from your brother as
of
well.
course, on these issues. I mean, on issues earlier on, we were both working, flat out to support the miners in 1984 and so forth. But then all this green agenda means, they're closing
They're going to
mines.
close
Well,
anyway. They're
hang on.
closed anyway.
Where's all this going? John Jeremy, you're supporting green this and green that, but what happened to history?
But,
what happened to the working class?
but the green
I mean, of course, he supports workers' actions
he
as
does,
well.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
he does.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't overstate
What he
the
thinks.
errors of the left.
Yeah.
He's not, the errors are not all his.
No.
Absolutely not. But
No.
he and the others have to stand firm on this COVID con, and currently they're not. They're bending their knees
Yeah.
to masking and all that stuff.
They're literally bending their knees in the football pitches.
Well, of course, that is just balmy, isn't it?
But let's take it the Green Party and the Green agenda. Even if the UK is half the CO2 emissions, but even if it got to zero, the amount of pollution from China, America and India is not going to make any difference.
Of course, it's a complete nonsense. I mean, if you can't quite see Big Ben Tower from here, but if Big Ben Tower represented the whole atmosphere, the CO2 component would be 1.25 inches on the top. And man's addition to that CO2 is a drop of bird shit on the top of
Big Ben.
the property. And the idea that is controlling the world temperature of the atmosphere is insane. It's completely insane. And we know it's complete nonsense, as is explained in this scientific paper.
And that just says, this is Reading University debating journal, Piers Corbyn, man-made climate change does not exist. Download the PDF at HH.
No, the best way to download it is to go on our website now, weatheraction.com.
Say that again.
Weatheraction.com. I'll repeat it, weatheraction.com. You go there and you can download this. Because that website advertised would actually only download half of this. Because it was expanded later with an add-on from Philip Foster, another physicist. But that's worth a read, guys. And it shows you in there that world, the CO2 levels follow world temperatures, not the other way around. And that means, of course, that CO2 is not driving anything. It's CO2 is driven.
But even
all these graphs in here, but you won't have time to read them, show that.
Interesting, Mr.
One for you, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll read that with great abandon as well. We'll have to get you on. We do.
When there's a big do in Scotland, I'll be here.
No, but I'll tell you about that later on. But what we do is Zoom calls. I have already interviewed 5 of the 25 party leaders. But what we'd like to do is get you on and have a sit-down Zoom call.
Of course.
And
we are a political party.
Yeah.
Let the UK live as a political party. Let London live was the start of it, but we've expanded.
And we will stick your details on that.
Have you got a card?
No, I don't, unfortunately, because I wasn't planning on actually interviewing anything.
Okay.
Just give us an email address, Mr. Corbyn.
Okay.
So that's fantastic. So we'll get Mr. Corbyn on for an hour's interview, an hour and a half interview. He can go through all this. We can share. Oh, I don't know if he can share screen, but he can tell me what he wants me to bring up, and he can talk us through.
Yeah, well,
what's that? Yeah, we'll bring up on the Zoom call, and we'll have a wee chat about it. So that would be absolutely excellent. We've all been praising you highly, and we hope you all hope you come up to Scotland to at the march, because I think you'd be greatly received up in Scotland as well. And especially thanks very much, Mr. Scott. Especially if you announce that you're coming up.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll put it across. We'll announce that you're going to come up. and actually have a discussion. I think it's the 24th of July,
Okay.
something like that.
Well, we'll check that out, and I'll certainly come. I better write down how to get hold of you. Anyway.
Guerrilla, G-U-E-R, E-R. No, that's R-E, So let me do it.
Oh, G-U-E-R, as in properly spelled.
I-L-L-A.
Oh, I don't know that.
TV
TV
channel.
Okay.
That's it, at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. All right.
And I'll tell you all the details about when it's come up. But it's going to be fantastic if you come up. The people up there will absolutely love you. Because you obviously,
well,
I think
Glasgow's a great place to be.
Yeah, well, especially.
Well, I've been to Glasgow, Edinburgh, Stirling in the past. I've been to lots of places.
Yeah.
Never as far as John Glasgow.
But I think now that your name's so massive and everybody throughout the UK loves you, that you're going to get a great reception up there, Mr. Corbyn.
That'd be good.
And if you announce it prior to coming up, I'm sure that a lot of people will be really interested in meeting you, because you've done such great work with the other marches down here. Did you get arrested as well?
Not this time, but I've been arrested 11 times, and there's some court cases coming up tomorrow.
Just about through the COVID situation?
Just for COVID.
Oh my God.
I've been arrested for other things before that, but, 11 arrests for the COVID resistance.
And that's quite a lot. That's incredible. There's dogmatic, aren't they? They're not.
Well, I think they maybe laid off a bit now, because whenever I got arrested, we find more people come on the streets to complain about it. So
it swings and roundabouts for them. It's not going to be good for them. The more authoritarian they get, it seems to be the greater the resistance. No,
in the case of me, yes. In the case of some people, though, of course, people run away from the strong state. But now, resistance is mounted.
Yeah, and no prisoners now. Well, we've absolutely loved you. We can't wait to talk to you again, Mr. Corbyn. Absolute pleasure, and I've been dying to meet you in the first place, but finally got to meet you. Let's have a chat on the Guerrilla TV and a Zoom call, and we'll have a great
All
time.
power to Guerrilla TV.
And let's hope Mr. Corbyn comes up to Glasgow on the march.
Yes,
and
I'll be there.
Fantastic. There you go. We've got it all here on the Guerrilla TV first thing.
Promise.
My baby
First
Gorillas.
news, Guerrilla TV.
My baby Gorillas. Love you.